Hello everyone, this is Carrie back with How to Homeschool My Child, and we are here today to talk about nativities. Yesterday I talked about joy because this week is the week in Advent that we talk about joy. We're going to focus on joy. And so I thought, what a better time to talk about Jesus coming to earth, what joy we get from that as well. After this video, I'm also going to do another sort of follow-up one on joy. If you want to join me for that, that would be great. But we're going to go ahead and dive in. I have talked a little bit in the past about keeping Christ in Christmas, but I want to focus a lot on nativity sets, and then I'm going to share a few things, even a book that you could use. Now, I have a food nativity that you can make. I will show you how to do that in a minute. But the first thing I would say is you need nativity sets that your kids can actually pick up and hold. So this is one that my mom made for me. I shared this before. So we have Mary and Joseph. We will set them there. Hey, maybe we can pull it down a little. And then we have baby Jesus here. So he sits here, or we can even set them this way. And then we have, there's shepherds in there, and there's wise men and all that. And then we have the backdrop of the stable as well. And so they can play. My kids played with this all the time. They would sometimes hide them and look for them. You can move baby Jesus around your home. But a stuffed nativity set is an easy way for you to be able to let your kids hold the pictures and tell the story of Jesus' birth and what happened. Another way that you could do that is to get the little people set. Both my girls and my grandkids have the little people set. The nice thing about this is it fits in their hand. I know that my one-year-old granddaughter, a year ago, she could hold her hand around the princess little people, and she just loved them. She would just walk around or crawl around the house. But this is a great one. I have a 3- and 6-year-old granddaughter. They will spend an hour at the table with this little people nativity set as well. And I'll put a link to this. But you need ones that they can actually tell the story and use it for imaginative play. And they can tell and sort of interact with the different characters that are in the Bible story. And then finally, let me grab this. We have several books that tell the story, but here's another one. I don't even know where you would get this, but you ought to be able to find some books at the library or the Christian bookstore or online. But this is one, again, my mom made this for me, Follow the Star, and it actually tells the story of the Joseph and Mary going to Bethlehem, and then there's no room in the inn. I'm obviously paraphrasing it. The angels come and tell the shepherds. I talked about that yesterday with joy. Now, it's a little out of whack because the wise men don't really come for a little bit later. But then there's a picture at the end that talks about all of them. So there's that. I found some board books at Half Price Books for my one of my granddaughters, and they were really good. It had the nativity, actually told the story of Christmas in about 5 pages, and it didn't even include the 3 wise men, since that's really not Christmas Day. That is later afterwards. Now, if you want to do a fun activity that I really like, and that is to make a stable out of graham crackers. Now, I don't have the stable made, but I'm going to show you the parts that we do have. You can take and make a sheep out of a large marshmallow. These are licorice pieces that I cut up, and they're held in place by toothpicks. And then we got 4 legs. Here, I'll put it here. It probably won't hold on here, but it does sit up on a flat table. So there's one. The other thing is you can use Tootsie Rolls, and you can make donkeys or camels out of it. We have 1 mini Tootsie Roll here on the bottom. That is 1 Tootsie Roll cut in half and then in 4. And then you just, since you're cutting them, they're sort of sticky and they're real easy to just stick on the body, and then a half of a Tootsie Roll here. Now, I'm going to tell you what. I had a hard time finding Tootsie Rolls. I looked at the grocery store. I looked at Walmart. I was looking everywhere, and I finally found them online at Target and ran over to the Target store a couple weeks ago because I had to do this demonstration for another group. So if you need Tootsie Rolls, then that's where I would go. So we have sheep, and we have the donkey or camel, and then we're going to make our people. Our people are made out of gumdrops and fruit slices. Now, we'll do it this way. So their legs are a fruit slice, And then this is a toothpick going all the way through. So you put the toothpick on the fruit slice, then you put a whole gumdrop here and another whole gumdrop here. You're going to cut a gumdrop in half and put it on either side for the wings. And then I don't have a fruit roll up, but you put that over for their shepherd's hat or for Mary's cape. If they're not a shepherd, you don't need the candy cane, but the mini candy cane is the staff for the shepherd as well. So you can make as many people. You'll make a Mary and a Joseph. You can make this. You might want to make some wise men, I don't know, and put them by the donkeys or the camels. So those are the people. We don't want to end. Where's my thing? And then finally, we need baby Jesus. So we're going to make a manger. The bottom is a half of a graham cracker. And then we're going to take the other half and break it. And we're going to use frosting. All I did was put frosting right in there. And I made a V and set both of them down there. Then if you can see, we've got coconut in there for the hay. And then we have a baby marshmallow for the baby Jesus as well. So we would have the manger here, and then we would put our people around it, and I just put them on a paper plate for each kid, and then they each can make however many sheep or however many donkeys they want. Now I have a blog post that tells you exactly how to do this, gives you directions, and you can do that. I also have another video of making this actually with our granddaughters a year or two ago. So I will share both of those here on this page so that you can have that. Finally, I do want to close with something that's not quite the Nativity, but I talk about it a lot, and it is a great Advent book. And if you have not read it, I highly recommend it. It is Jotham's Journey. It is set in the time before the Nativity scene. It is set in the weeks leading up to Jesus' birth. And so at the end of it, it's a great opportunity to talk about the birth. But you will really dive into the culture of what was going on in Israel at that time. Jotham is a young boy who gets separated from his family, and then it's what happens until Jesus' birth. I'm not going to tell you. Each day is a cliffhanger. My kids never wanted to stop, and each day is lined out. So here is Jotham's line. This is week 2, Monday. So if you're starting now, that's okay. You could just finish after Christmas, but there's usually about 3 or 4 pages of the story. And then at the end, under the star, is something that you can actually talk about and be guiding you through what's going on and how this develops with Christmas as well. So it says, so as you wait for Christmas Day, remember that what you're waiting is for is the birth of your brother. Talking about brothers there. So that is a great book. I'll give you a link to this as well. And there are 2 other books in the series. I don't really recommend them. They're a little too politically correct for me. This one is a lot more Bible-based. So, Nativities. This is a book you could read that ends up in the Nativity. This is a book that my mom made for us, Follow the Star, that actually tells the story of the Nativity. These are nativities that you can actually let your kids play with. My mom made them. And they're all stuffed. We already showed that. But if you don't make things like that, you can go to the store and buy a Little People set, and kids can still play with it. And then finally, we've got our edible nativity. That's what sort of prompted this particular video. Our animals, our people, and the manger and baby Jesus. So that's what I have. I am going to be back in just a few minutes. I want to make 2 separate videos today. But for those of you that didn't hear last night, I actually started a 50% off our whole store sale. So if there is anything, homeschool, holiday, whatever, in our store that you've been looking at, 50% off. I have not done that here in this group ever. And so I will put a link to that. I'll give you a link to the store and the coupon, and you can go look. It ends at 8 o'clock Central Time. It was an actual 24 hours. It started at the end of yesterday's Facebook party, and it's going to end 24 hours later. I will be back in a few minutes to talk about joy and just some really cool things, and one word that I think you'll want to remember to be able to have what joy truly is. So I'm going to stop this, and I'll be back to make a separate video. I am Carrie Beck with How to Homeschool My Child. Y'all have a great day.